Hello. So, this was supposed to be something else, but I kind of forgot to record. But anyways, hey. So, I wanted to talk just a little bit about American Psycho. If you haven't heard of it, it's this movie that came out like 20 years ago with Christian Bale and Jared Leto. Gross. And Jared Leto plays Paul Allen, and Christian Bale plays Patrick Bateman, the main dude that we're focused on. And Justin Theroux is in it. Josh Lucas is in it. There's someone else in it that's really familiar. Anyways, so Patrick Bateman is, I don't know what he does. Works somewhere in finance, based in the 80s. Reese Witherspoon is in it. And I forgot her character's name already. I don't know why I keep forgetting, but I did. If you hear some sound in the background, there's a cat, and I left a video on for her, but she's asleep. Anyways, so Patrick Bateman, he is, it's the 80s. They do drugs. Him, all his buddies. And besides his murderous tendencies, Patrick Bateman is actually a decent guy, except for the fact that he won't really necessarily commit to his girlfriend, played by Reese Witherspoon. Like, just commit. It's either commit or break up. Take your pick. It seems like he doesn't like her, but I think he does, because he doesn't murder her. And I think if he cares about you, he doesn't murder you. But Patrick Bateman, we're gonna get this ball rolling. He ends up, like, his mask is starting to just melt off his face. Not even just come off, it's just starting to melt completely. And he's having a hard time, like, keeping it up and not letting anyone see who he truly is. Oh, let me try and do this. Because I have to go to work. But yeah, so Patrick Bateman, he ends up, like, we're just kicking it off with murder. He ends up going to his girlfriend's, and he ends up going to an ATM, and oops, let me try this. Oh wow, that's not gonna work. So he ends up going to his girlfriend's, and not his girlfriend's. I don't know why I keep wanting to say that. So he goes to an ATM. So that way, I'm using this weekend brow thing. Can you see it? I can't twist it around. There you go. And he goes to the ATM, and to, withdraw money, as we do from an ATM. And the thing is, he ends up seeing this, I guess, nice looking woman. And so after he finishes his transaction, he walks up behind her, not trying to be as silent as possible, like, he a little creepy. And then he does that. And then soon enough, he walks behind her. Oh, my face is so dry. I literally need to put lotion on. He ends up walking behind her, but then he walks up beside her, and he's like, oh, hey. She's like, oh, hey. But then it cuts to the next scene. Like, Patrick doesn't go home, or I'm assuming he does. It cuts to the next scene, and he goes to the dry cleaners, and I really need to find my little lotion thingy, and I can't find it. So we're just gonna go with Vaseline. I know. And it cuts to the next scene where he goes to the dry cleaners. And this wouldn't be so bad, if it was a regular dry cleaner, like, interaction. But turns out he brought his white sheets in, and there's this huge red stain on it, and he's like, oh, like one of his friends walking in, and she's like, oh, what is that? He's like, oh, it's just like a wine stain or cranberry stain, whatever he says. And she's like, oh. And for some reason, nobody questions Patrick. Not one person questions him. I don't know why. So, yeah, not one person questions him. Like, Patrick, why are you out this late? I mean, not why are you out this late. Like, why is there a blood stain on your thing? Nobody does. And at a certain point, Patrick ends up being like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to leave. Like, he tries to do reservations with his friend, but it doesn't end up working. And then, oh my gosh. And then, Patrick ends up going to work. And, oh man, I shouldn't put it in a cinematic because you can see how tired I look. Not a great look. But yeah, so like Patrick ends up going to work, and his assistant, I gotta be honest, I don't remember her name, but his assistant, she's like, oh, Patrick, you got like some people calling. And he's like, all right, okay, tell so-and-so no, I don't want to do it, in regards to certain, I guess, meetings he has. And then he ends up like, as she's about to walk out the door back to her little office, he's like, don't wear that outfit again. She's like, what, you don't like it? Which I feel like that's, I know this is a movie, but a boss shouldn't be telling his assistant how to dress. As long as she's coming there professional as possible, you shouldn't be telling her what to wear. So anyways, he's like, wear a dress or something, because you're prettier than that. Because I guess to Patrick, if you don't wear a dress or a skirt, you're not that pretty. Because I guess he want to see legs. But Patrick, we're here to work. We're not here for your pleasure. And so she's like, oh, okay. And he's like, oh, wear heels. Wear heels. Like, Patrick is like he gets away with it because of his whiteness. And it's the 80s, so they don't really have to try that hard. Oh my gosh, I can't get this out. So they don't have to try that hard. But, you know, and eventually he goes to hang out with Paul Allen, aka Jared Leto's character. And let's do that down here. With Jared Leto's character, and they go to this like Mexican restaurant that's like on the outskirts of town, or not where any of their wealthy friends would be at. So Patrick has like a good alibi, which funny enough, that comes into play later. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so where was I? Okay, and then Patrick and Paul Allen go back to Patrick's apartment, which is like all in like a lot of white. So then he does that, and then, you know, he gets Paul Allen drunk. I'm pretty sure he slips him a drug. I don't know, it just feels like he did. So he does that, and then, you know, Paul Allen says, what is this music? He doesn't like it, which is Jared Leto. Makes sense. Anyways, and Paul Allen has taste. Like, I would listen to some of that stuff, honestly. I think it was a band called Huey. So like, he's playing the song, and then Patrick gets dressed up in his raincoat covering his outfit, which I'm pretty sure was a suit, because he doesn't wear anything else but a suit. So then he does that, and then he gets his axe, which he has ready, of course, and then he comes dancing over to Paul Allen, and then strikes him, and then strikes him some more. And then he says, try getting a reservation at Dorsey's Now, which is this really nice place that nobody ever goes to in the film, but they always mention it. Like, it's this really nice, top-notch restaurant. So then, you know, he ends up, like, letting him go missing, and, not letting him go missing. Paul Allen ends up coming missing. His girlfriend said that he went missing, and his, like, parents say he went missing. And then a detective comes in, aka William Dafoe, the Goblin. So then he comes in, questions Patrick Bateman, and then Patrick Bateman is like, you know, we hung out like a few days ago. I don't really know. And, you know, he is a wealthy white male. And then, you know, they talk, blah, blah, blah. And then at some point, sorry, I'm going to skip, because I was going to try and make this like a podcast. But I got to leave and go to work. So anyways, like you know. And then I'm just going to tell you all of his murders. Or not. Actually, you know what? Yeah. He kills Paul Allen. He ends up at some point, I'm pretty sure it's a little bit after this, he ends up getting two... Are they called hookers? We're just gonna call them ladies of the night. He gets two ladies of the night. One is an official escort, and then one is literally one that you find on a corner. No disrespect. So he gets them too, and they end the night after Patrick has his fun, because they aren't having fun. After they get have their fun. Well, Patrick, my bad. And he clearly beat them up, and so they do that. And then at some point, he brings the escorts back. Oh my gosh, this is a different part. I'm so bad. Okay, that one escort from the beginning, she never returns. Which, great. She kept her life. So then, Patrick ends up, you know, as many times as I watch this movie, I really should have my notes on, and I apologize. I'm so sorry. The next one will be way better and way more like... In fact, you're not going to see this, because I don't know what this is. Because I didn't have it on my tripod, because I was trying to do this before I left, and then just edit it as I went along. So Patrick commits several murders, and like he tries to tell his lawyer. He tries to tell... No, actually, he only tries to tell his lawyer. He tries to help a homeless man, but in actuality, he's not really helping him. He's really more so just being an asshole. Like, he ends up beating the dog. I think, and actually, he kills a dog, which... Why? And he kills the homeless man. Yeah. And then, after that, he just goes on about his night. He hangs out with his friends some more. Evelyn, that's the character, Reese Witherspoon's character name. So then he hangs out with Evelyn. Months have passed. It's becoming Christmas, near Christmas at this point. And, like... Actually, one of the more like memorable scenes that is probably honestly anyone's favorite when they watch the movie is, let's see Paul Allen's card. That the delivery, the line, everything is top notch. There's nothing wrong with that line or that scene. It's absolute perfection. It's the bee's knees in terms of like delivery and how it is, because they're all looking at their business cards, which I guess was a big thing in the 80s. Even though they're in the same company, but I guess they're their own like people per se, like own business people. But that was pristine, that scene. Anyways, so they never they never find Paul Allen, but his lawyer claims that he saw him in London, like I said on the voicemail, 10 days prior. And Patrick Bateman's like, no, I killed him. And they're like, no, you didn't. And Patrick's like, yes, I did. Oh. whew. And Patrick's like, no, you didn't. Okay? No, you didn't. So then, towards the end of the movie, I know I've skipped around so much. I apologize. But you can see it on HBO Max, the full movie, without this ADHD rendition. Okay. So, Patrick tries to, kill. Actually, no. He ends up killing the other escort that like came by, and but then he comes back the next day, and the whole building is cleaned. Somebody's looking at it to live in. I was like, they cleaned it up that fast? There's no dead bodies, no blood, no nothing. I was very surprised. I'm actually shocked because that's not how I remembered it from when I was younger. But anyways, that was my ADHD rendition of American Psycho. Sorry it was so splotchy. I had notes and then I couldn't really find them, and I don't have time to watch the movie again as much as I would like to. So if you enjoyed this, like a little bit, like this much space, then like for more.